Hi everyone, I just wanted to complete my review of my MacBook Air and with the M1 chip. Just want to go over some of the features that I like and some of those I don't like as much. First of all, really love this keyboard. This is much better than I guess some of the newer MacBook Pros. The past generation MacBook Pros, they had a very flat keyboard. These keys are much more raised, so they're easier to type with. This actual MacBook Air comes with two ports, the two USB-C ports. Those are your only ports. I'll talk a little bit more about that later, but that's probably not the best feature that I'm interested in. I had an older version MacBook Pro and it had all the ports, but I know that's kind of long gone with all the Apple MacBooks, so that's not really a differentiator in terms of MacBook Air, but it does not have any other USB-C ports on this side. It just has the one headphone jack, as you can see there. So overall, I'll do some more in a couple of minutes. I'm going to go through some of the cons and pros of this new MacBook Air. But so far, I will say that I really am enjoying it. I think it's a really good deal. And I'll also go through that in terms of why I think it's a good deal. This specific model is the Space Gray. This is the color that I chose. There's a silver version and there's, I think it's like a rose gold version. That one actually looks really good, but I thought I would just get sick of it if I got that after a while. So this one's pretty conservative, pretty bland, but still looks good. It's got a good look to it. Of course, the actual MacBook is very thin, as you can see. I think it's a little bit actually lighter than the MacBook Pro. I think this is at 2.8 pounds, I believe. Something like that. So, okay, I'm just gonna go through some other stuff in a bit. Thank you. Continue on the journey of me purchasing this MacBook Air. I wanted to go through my buying experience. I thought it was a pretty good buying experience overall. So there's a couple options you have here. You can just buy it outright from the Apple website, or you can actually go to the education store, which I did because I actually volunteer as a mentor for a middle school student. So I'm eligible for this education store purchase. And what I did was I was looking at some of these. There's two different versions of the MacBook Air. One has the M1 chip with 8-core CPU and 7-core GPU, up to 256 gigabyte. And the other one is the Apple M1 chip with 8-core CPU and 8-core GPU, 512 gigabyte storage. So I wanted the more storage. I actually had an older MacBook Pro. I think it was a 2015 model that was 128 gigabyte. And I was always running out of disk space, so I wanted a lot more disk space this time. And it was also an i5. I believe it was 8 gigabytes of memory. So kind of underpowered, but it was really a good laptop for me. I really liked the laptop a lot. I liked the fact that it had, all the different ports and everything. It was an older model. But I decided I should probably just try to trade it in. And that's what I did. But before I get to that, I just want to go through some of the other things. There's three different colors. You have the Space Gray, which is the one I have. There's the gold version, and then there's a silver version. So, a lot of different options in terms of colors. But these are the kind of the comparisons of the two different models. So this version starts at, basically $250 more. So if you're really tight on a budget, then I would definitely suggest that you consider the cheaper version, although you will get a little less in terms of overall technology. and options in terms of the storage. So I chose this one, and like I said, I actually traded it in. So I went through this whole menu item and traded my MacBook Pro in. I think I got a pretty good deal for it. It was like I said, it was about, I had it for about 4 years. It was about 5 years old in terms of the model year. Um, but I ended up getting it like $320 for it. So I thought it was a pretty good deal for me. So there's a couple different ways you can customize this. I actually chose the 16 gigabytes of memory. And then the you can do 512, 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes. I actually just chose the 512. I thought that was plenty for the needs I had, and I didn't choose any of the other bundles. So what comes in the box? I think if you saw my unboxing video, you've already seen this. It's a MacBook Air, USB-C charge cable, and the power adapter. So that's pretty much the route I went, and like I said, so the total came out to be, where is the total? Let me see. Okay, yes, 313.29, and then I actually I think it was like $60 in terms of tax, and I got like 320 back on my trade-in, so I ended up paying around 1,000 for this laptop, which I thought was a pretty good deal actually for what I got. Um, Pretty happy with it. So I just want to go and kind of go through some of these other items here. So let me just play this slideshow here. So what do I really like about this? I want to go. This is the second part of my review. So what do I like and what's not so great? So the specs that I have is M1 chip, 8-core CPU, 8-core GPU, 512 gigabyte storage, 16 gigabytes memory, Retina display. Again, here's my breakdown of what I paid. I actually did finance it with the Apple Card. I wanted to try Apple Card out, so it's costing me $84 a month. I probably could have paid outright for it, but I just decided to go through this way. I want to check out the experience, and there's no finance. I mean, there's no finance charge as long as they paid it on time. So I thought that was a pretty good deal. I also got, they also took off the trade-in even before I sent it in, which was nice. So I didn't have to have that as part of the finance. And what I like, so I really like the Apple M1 chip. I think the performance is great. The screen resolution is really good. Price, I thought it was a good deal for what I got. The keyboard is great. The weight is very light. I love the Touch ID. My older model didn't have Touch ID. Color choices, I like that they have a couple different color choices. I went with the boring one, I will say the space gray, but I think just over time it'll just hold up better for me. Fanless design is great. It doesn't get hot. It's super quiet. No fan is amazing. I thought, I would have issues with it when it got hot. Maybe it will in the summertime. I'll have to see. But so far, we're still in the winter, almost into spring now. But it's not getting hot at all. Even though I use it like for a couple hours at a time, it just doesn't seem to get hot. So they've really done a really great job in managing the heat. And the Big Sur at Mac OS, I think it's ideal for this laptop. So what's not so great, several apps aren't compatible with the M1 chip yet. 13-inch screen is a bit small, and the 14-inch would be ideal. It only comes with 2 USB-C ports, and of course you need adapters. I had the older MacBook and had all the ports, so that's pretty much the only thing that I would say are downsizes to it, or things that I don't like as much, but still pretty minor. I know they're going to be coming out with new apps that are compatible, and I heard they're going to come out with a 14-inch version, but it's not been confirmed, so I'm not sure when that's going to happen or if it's going to happen. But the overall summary is that I love it more and more each day I use it. I really think it's a great laptop, and it's something that I'm really glad I purchased. And again, these are the 3 different colors. My recommendation is that you can't go wrong, especially if you get a really good price on it. If you have an iPhone and or watch, I think it's also good because it's so, as you know, if you have one, it's pretty integrated experience. So you can get text on your laptop when you don't have to look at your phone. A lot of good benefits of just having all your files if you're using the iCloud storage. It's really great. So, well, the reason to wait, I would say, is if you really are doing like programming and you need certain libraries and things that are not available yet on the M1 chip. There is some limited availability of apps and programming languages that are supporting the M1 chip, so you might want to wait for that reason. Or if you want to wait for a larger version, that would be the way to go. Thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day. Please like this video and subscribe.